What up, everyone, and welcome to The Social Room, where strategic networking meets insightful business conversations. I'm your host, Aiden Snell, and this show is designed to connect you with business leaders, visionaries, and entrepreneurs who are not only crushing it and making waves within their industries, but who might also just share the game that can take you to the next level. In each episode, we'll explore the stories of these business owners and how they're impacting lives. Who knows? You might just find your next big opportunity right here on this episode. So sit back, tune in, and let's get social. All right, guys, today we are joined by the one and only Khai Clancy, owner and founder of Flawless Consulting. Khai, how you doing today, man?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. A little hot, but can't complain. I'm thankful,
It's a hot day in Miami today, folks.
Thankful to call it home, though.
Pleasure to have you on.
Appreciate that.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Where are you from? What are you passionate about, Khai?
Yeah, grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. Own a company called Flawless Consulting.
Nice.
We specialize in credit repair, credit restoration, credit building, as well as funding. Been doing it for the past 5 years.
Nice.
So I've just been slowly but surely, picking away 1% better every single day.
Love that.
And over the last year, we've had some good changes to where, we're going from that small business level to, God willing, the enterprise level.
Nice.
And so
Amazing.
Thankful for what we've been able to build. And I think this is kind of part of it, is getting our name out there. As much as we don't want to be like in the limelight, it's good to be able to help as many people as we can. So
Absolutely.
These conversations with like-minded individuals, man, like yourself, it's always a good thing, and I appreciate you taking time out of your day to even talk to me, bro.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Pleasure to have you on the show, man. Well, amazing. So, Khai, we're going to jump into the segment I like to call the Power 5, all right?
Cool.
Now, the Power 5, I'm going to ask you 5 power questions, and I want you to give me your best responses in under 60 seconds, all right? No pressure.
Sounds good. Let's go.
All right, you ready? First question, Khai. What's the most valuable lesson that you've learned from failure?
Oh, man. Not to give up, right? So everyone's going to fail, but how you deal with failure is the main thing. So, and another thing is everyone wants to be in business, but no one wants to deal with the failure. So getting really friendly with failure and failing forward.
Nice. Love that.
Definitely the biggest thing.
So important.
Thanks, bro.
If you had to start over, what's the first thing you'd do differently?
I think just focus on friendships, relationships, and adding value, right? Not really going and asking with my hand out, but just going and being able to kind of carve my own seat at their table. And then also just finding like another service. If it wasn't credit repair, which I would always go back to credit repair because it's not something that's ever going to die.
Yeah.
I would find like a problem that needs to be solved, and I would come up with a solution for it.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah.
Super valuable, man.
That's a good question.
Yeah. Next question. What's the best investment that you've made in your business so far?
I think in myself. There's been a lot of times where either paying to get into that room, honestly going to the little bit nicer of a dinner, paying to be in like the nicer places, has always opened up doors, right? But you also can't like ask God to like send you a life raft and then not get on the boat when He sends you. So
Absolutely.
Being able to like look for those relationships and not be corny with it, just build a relationship with people.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be sold. Everybody wants to go shopping with their friends. So genuinely being able just to like build a good, solid relationship.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's so important. That you hit it on the head. You hit it on the head with that one. Me personally, I've had my biggest clients come from networking.
Yep.
And so just by building a relationship and not trying to sell them, but more so developing that relationship, it'll take you so long. Like as soon as I realized that, it was a game changer for me in my business.
Having authority in any space, right, and being that authority figure, and like credit repair isn't flashy, right? But I know that if anybody ever talks about like bad credit or anything that's negatively impacting them, they're either going to send them to like me or they're going to talk about our service, whatever it may be. So that's why we talk about it. That's why we're an authority in this space, as you're an authority in your space, bro. That's why we're here.
Exactly.
I hit you up.
Exactly. Love that. If you could master one skill that you may not have right now, what would it be?
I'm still working on it every day. Communication, right? Being able to be a master communicator. I think it's a dying breed. I think like I was talking about it on TikTok. Like it's not the easiest thing to be able to talk in front of a screen.
Yeah.
And
it's very unnatural.
Exactly. And then let alone being able to talk in front of like people, that's also like a dying skill as well. So just mastering conversation and being able to genuinely like have empathy and listen, not just like talking to talk, but talking to listen and hearing the other person out.
For sure.
It's definitely a skill that we're learning every day.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Amazing. I think that's super valuable, bro. What's the proudest moment that you've had in business so far?
I mean, there's been a lot of like when I moments, right? When I do this, when I do that, and you know, I'm thankful for, I think, finding a good partner. That was one of my proudest moments.
Let's go.
We've had some pretty large deals in the past that, you know, some would say like are quote unquote life changing, but it was a when I moment. When I get this check, like nothing really changed, and I think that's also kind of what like led me to God in a way, of like, hey, like you can have all the worldly things, but if you don't have that relationship with God, like it's not going to really, you know, feel good. But like the best and the biggest, I guess, deal we could say recently was a deal that we just struck with in another country, and we're going to be outsourcing a lot of like the credit repair sales that we're doing.
Nice.
And so very quickly it kind of made us, like I said, from a small business to like an enterprise level company.
Nice.
With, you know, over 100 reps and really making a really large impact really quickly.
That's huge, man. Congrats on all the success. Shout out to your partner, Joseph.
Yeah, Joe's the man. He's actually how we connected, so
yes, sir.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Let's talk a little bit more about, before we move on to the next segment, I want to talk about your relationship with God, because I think this is so important, and I love sharing it with the audience.
Yeah.
How important do you think is having faith when it comes to your business?
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, as entrepreneurs, there's like tons of times in life where you get just enough to be able to get by. Right? And when you have that like blind faith of like it's always going to work out, there's no plan B, God will always reward you, right? And being able to like give thanks to those miracles when they are miracles, right? And calling them what they are, God's only going to bless you with more.
Facts.
In my mind. So that's just been the truth.
100%.
That big deal that, you know, we struck, where we weren't really sure where we were going with our business. We were working on this deal for 2.5 months, and you know, we put all of our eggs in this basket in a way, which isn't the best, but we knew it was going to pay out. And we sent this tithe on Friday, and we never talked about, you know, tithing or anything like that, but it was literally God's hand, because on the Thursday they said no, like we're not moving forward right now. And then Friday we sent that tithe, and then Saturday going into men's meeting, we got a text message with our VC saying like, hey, like, we're actually going to move forward. And so that's a miracle, right?
That's crazy,
and
man.
That's like one of those times where we can go ahead and we can not give glory to God. And we can just say like, man, nah, we worked so hard. And we can be ignorant, but like, is God going to bless you again?
Wow.
Right?
That's amazing.
Just giving thanks to him in that situation. And the deal's not done. We're on the 1 yard line. And, you know, we've been able to like really build like a system that even if, let's just say something was to fall apart, which, you know, God willing, it doesn't. We've been able to look at our business a little bit different, to like have different systems come into place to where we're ready for that next step regardless. So thankful for what has happened over the last year for sure.
Let's go, man. That's huge. That's awesome, man. I pray that, you know, you guys get into that end zone.
Yeah.
My man's in the red zone right now.
Yes, sir. No, we're right there. We're right on that 1 yard line.
Let's
like,
go.
We could say that we're already done and stuff, but like until, you know, you've like solidified with these large enterprise companies and stuff, like it's a pilot, right?
Yeah.
So we just have to get through that pilot, and then
let's go.
We'll be like one of their like clients. And
that's amazing.
It'll be huge.
Yeah, and it's so crazy, man, how, you know, I've had such a similar experience to you when I first started tithing, because I was the type of person that I was always like letting money control me, and like I served money like over God. Like I would put money and my finance and my business over God, and you know, with the money that I was making, I started tithing, and that first week, bro, I had like my most successful month financially. It was crazy. Like
it's God.
So, like what I put down, like I made like 10x in like a week.
They say like you can't outgive God, right? And so like putting yourself in that position to be able to not test him, but like just say like, hey, like, you know, you trusted me with like 10 grand. You know, can you trust me with that 100?
Yeah.
Can you trust me with $1 million? Right?
Exactly.
And so
love that.
It's also having that relationship too. It's like not just tithing, but how are you treating people? You know, on the side of the road, and what are you doing Monday through Saturday? Right? Because Sunday it's easy to be able to put your, you know, fresh fit on and go to VU and high five people and be thankful and stuff. But like, what are you doing, you know, Monday through, you know, Saturday? And that's been a big part, being able to serve as well. We were just talking about serving, being able to tithe. Those are all like blessings, right? Being able to like give my time. That a lot of people, they can't, because like they're working, you know, 7 days a week. And so
absolutely,
God blessed me with like, you know, time freedom, in a way.
Yeah.
And so something I prayed for at one point in my life, and I have it now. It's like, all right, we got to give it back as well.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. That's amazing. I love the mindset that you've got, man. I love everything that you're doing. And, bro, just I want to see you continue winning. And I know that you are, bro, because of just your faith and your relationship with God. So it's really awesome to see a brother in Christ just doing his thing, man.
That's love, bro. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome, man. So I want to dive deeper into your business, Flawless Consulting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me more about it. Who is it that you're helping within Flawless Consulting?
I mean, so that's something that I've always kind of looked at business as like a tool belt. How many tools do you have to be able to service your clients, right? And in any business, you're like solving a problem. So we want to be able to solve as many problems as we can. So, we have products that with people that have literally no credit. We have products for people that have less than perfect credit where, they have some like student loans that are negatively impacting them. They have bankruptcies, they have medical collections or any type of, late payments, anything that you can look at your profile and say, well, that's holding me back from getting a loan. You come and work with us. And then we're also able to help, people that have great credit, leverage other people's money and get funding. And so there's so many different products that we're able to, help people with. But pretty much A to Z, if it has to do with credit, we're able to help you out.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like the people who need your product the most are people who are struggling with bad credit.
Yeah, bad credit clients, and then people that want to leverage other people's money and get business funding, getting a new car, getting a new house.
Nice.
We have some really great relationships with loan officers and different dealerships throughout the U.S.
Nice.
So literally anybody that is going to use their credit, they should come and talk to us before.
Nice.
We give free consultations.
Yeah.
Just to be able to set you up.
Nice.
And put you in a place of financial freedom.
Nice. Why would I want to use credit? Why would I want to leverage other people's money?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of something that like got me into credit. I was raised in a household where credit was bad, right? And I mean, there was never like a class or in high school like a financial literacy class or anyone teaching me about credit. So being able to get out of high school, I just kind of went on my own and was like, okay, I'm going to get a motorcycle, like a super small installment loan.
Nice.
And then from there, I was able to like, kind of got put in the position where I cracked like a crown. And then I was like, okay, I got to go to the dentist and how to get a care credit, right? So slowly but surely, like, kind of fell into good credit, right? But I also, was like in the place of, okay, well, I'm looking for my problem to solve. So during that time, my parents split up, like when I was a little bit earlier on in life, and one of the things that kind of was like left in a stain in the family was having less than perfect credit for one of the people involved. And so I went out there, and when I was selling real estate education, I met a guy that was doing credit repair, and he kind of told me like, hey, like I can fix this person's profile, or I can just teach you how to do it. And I was like, wow, that's my problem, right? I was able to really understand that it's not like a skill that people don't really know, right? And there's a lack of knowledge with it, so wanted to get our name out there, and it was a problem that I was able to very quickly sell, solve, and then move on to the next client. So It was my why, really quick.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I love that. That's awesome.
Long-winded answer for it.
No, it makes total sense. So like, it sounds like one of the biggest reasons why you want to leverage credit and other people's money is just more opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Like if I can leverage somebody else's money or the bank's money, leveraging my credit, getting my credit right, then like I have more opportunities. When an opportunity comes up for me to buy something, a real estate house, a real estate investment, equipment for my business, right? That credit is gonna help me.
Interest is super, like, it's kind of the underlying killer for a lot of things. And I like to be able to tell people that, like, it's not something that we're really educated on, but it's a lot more expensive to be cheap.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I give the bus pass analogy that, like, growing up, I would just get $2 a day to be able to ride the city bus every day, right? But unless we were to, like, plan ahead, we could have just paid $30, but monthly we were paying $60, right? And so being able to set yourself up correctly if you were to go use other people's money, right, is the main thing. That's why you want to have great credit and talk to us about using your credit and leveraging your credit.
Love that.
Yeah.
So what happens if, let's say, I never learn about these things? I never start to improve my credit. I never leverage other people's money.
Yeah.
What happens if I ignore these pains, essentially? What happens if, I can't get I can't Yeah. I guess.
I mean, we're getting to the point in society where like you kind of need credit to do anything.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to buy a house, like they're still gonna check your credit to be able to get into an apartment, right? And I most of the time know that people aren't gonna go and spend $1,100 on a new phone, right? But they're gonna run it up on their credit, which is credit as well, right? So you have to be able to have positive credit to be able to do anything nowadays.
So if you have bad credit and you go to buy a $1,100 phone, what happens?
I mean, a lot of times if you have no credit, then they're probably not gonna, work with you. And then if you have less than perfect credit as well, then yeah, there's a good chance, and you're gonna have to put some type of down payment, or it's gonna be a higher interest rate. But if you have great credit, then they're gonna give you a lower interest rate. You're gonna be paying, almost a phone, right? The worth of the phone, instead of $1,500 for an $1,100 phone, which is the underlying killer of America right now.
Yeah. And that's just on a phone. And when we're talking about a house.
So on a house, like
thousands, tens of thousands.
I mean, on a 30-year fixed rate, it's like $70,000 for 1% of interest, right?
Wow.
So when I tell these clients, like, hey, I'm gonna save you 3% or like 2%.
It's a lot.
That's $140,000.
Wow.
Right? And that's definitely
buy a nice whip with that money.
100%. I mean, $140,000 is or sending your kid to college for 2 semesters nowadays, unfortunately. But
crazy.
Still helping out the family.
Don't get me started on college, man.
Yeah, definitely. Did you go to school?
I did. I dropped out. I never really wanted to. I never really wanted to. I dropped out, never looked back. I dropped out because I had plans on graduating. I did. But I dropped out because my family, was going through a hard time and they needed my help. So I had to drop out and help my family.
Family first.
Yeah, for sure. And I had the opportunity to go back, but I was like, no, I'm gonna start up my own business. I'm 2 years in already, and I'm still learning about math. Oh yeah, it's been huge.
But the math that they're teaching you in school, I mean, respectfully, like, it's not the math you're learning today. So,
bro, it's just so like every single one of my classes, I still have not used or applied any of that knowledge. The biggest takeaway that I learned from college was how to network and how to meet people. I think that was the most valuable thing from college were the connections.
My kid's for sure going for 1 year. Yeah. For that reason, like the dorm life, he'll experience it. But other than that, like, he can come and work for Pops if he wants to.
Yeah, love that. Dope, man. So tell me about like some people that you've helped. Can you recall on like 1 or 2 like client success stories of people that maybe you fixed their credit?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there's like clients that have helped like their whole family, right? Because financial literacy is not something that kind of skips a generation in a way.
Yeah.
There's those like odd few, but you only know what you know.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I'm thankful that we've been able to help, like I said, like, 4 or 5 generations, like with the like three of the brothers, and then mom and dad, and then the grandparents as well.
Nice.
So 3 generations, but huge families have came to us, and it normally starts with 1, right? Kind of earning their trust. But we've had like huge people in the league that are like active, and we're not gonna like name drop, but
yeah, that's dope.
Between me and you, like, I don't know if you want to blur, like DeAndre Hopkins and stuff, like those guys have like been in the program. So like,
that's awesome.
Huge guys. It doesn't matter if you have, millions behind you, or having less than perfect credit doesn't mean you're like a less than perfect person, right? Like, everyone has these little blimps in life and stuff, and we're there to be able to kind of help them get out of it quicker than 7 to 10 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. So tell me a little bit more about like what transformation this really has. It sounds like they've been impacted and they really changed their life, but can you be a little bit more specific? Like, how does this really change their life? Like,
I mean, so being able to like go and buy a house, right? So you're renting every single year, and you're throwing money down the drain. You're never going to be able to call your home, right, for your kids. Yeah. And there's single mothers out there that have not been able to, like, they've heard no so many times, right? They don't make enough money. They don't qualify for, first-time home buyers assistance with the credit that they do have or the income they have. So we're able to like set them up and work not only on their credit, but get them with loan officers that are going to go above and beyond to be able to get them into their home. So there's countless times, and the amount of times where I've seen people with really cool cars, from our program, come back and say like, hey, thank you. This wouldn't have happened unless, we found Flawless Consulting, or,
that's awesome.
The amount of times, because most of the time, because of how our price is, right, a lot of clients will go and work with a cheaper program, right, like $125 to $90 a month, right, and then they'll come and pay $750, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, depending on whatever the negative debt is associated with the the profile is what we charge.
Got you.
And they say like, hey, like, everything that you said you were gonna do, you kept your word, right? And that's something that I love to be able to hear is like, everything that you said you were gonna do, you kept your word. Because I feel conversations arise from, not meeting their expectations. And those expectations are just built from conversation, right? This is what you're gonna pay for, this is the timeline, and this is what we're gonna be able to do. And not selling them snake oil, like genuinely helping them.
That's awesome, man. That's great. So it could literally be the difference between, being able to buy a home to support your family and not. Literally, or being able to, like, during COVID, right? A lot of times people, like, didn't understand how important it was to be able to have a low limit card or a low interest rate card with a high limit to be able to survive off of, right? Yeah.
And so, because nobody was able to work, and that wasn't something that was on the forecast.
Yeah.
And so after COVID, it really showed people, like, I need to have my credit in check. And I need to be able to start leveraging my credit in a way to be able to, like, not just, when I want to buy something I don't need, but it's a necessity to be able to have just in case of, like, a what if situation.
Love that. Yeah, no, it makes total sense. Wow, man. So how can people work with you? What does, like, that process look like? Let's say I got bad credit, Khai. I need some money. What
the shameless plug is always, like, hitting me up on Instagram, right? But we also have a website where it's super easy to book a call with one of my agents. We have a large team, like I mentioned earlier.
Nice.
If you do book a call on the website, it's going to go to, like, our top tier agents to where it will automatically be someone that can look at your profile, go over your profile, give you a really, like, thorough audit. And even if you don't work with us, like I said, it's free, and you're going to have a way better understanding of how to leverage your credit, how to fix your credit. And if we can do something, we're definitely going to let you know, how we could work together.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are watching and you're interested in that free audit, definitely check out your website, you said?
Yeah.
What's your website?
It's flawless.credit. Super easy.
Flawless.credit.
That's easy, yeah. Flawless.credit.
www.flawless.credit.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Love that. That's a great domain.
Thankful.
Yeah.
Thankful.
That's awesome. Dope, man. So on average, like, how much are you getting people funded? I know it kind of varies, but, like, is there...
Yeah, we're underwriting right now, like, a $20 million loan for an amusement park in Texas.
Nice.
But, I mean, we help people get hundreds of thousands of dollars for, super small consulting firms, and it really depends on, what you're trying to do. We don't do the credit card stacking like most people do. We can push you in the right direction of doing that, but we do, like, actual funding, and we have a program for everyone. So depending on what your dream is, what your goal is, and how old your LLC or your S Corp is or your C Corp, let us know, and we'll be able to work together.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. That's awesome. Any last words that you want to leave our audience with?
Bro, I just appreciate you taking time out of your day. Right? Yeah. It doesn't happen overnight. So, just stay consistent with your dreams. That's kind of the hardest thing, is just having that discipline, even on the hard days, and when you hear no a lot. But just stay consistent. It's going to work out. Have a real faith and a real relationship with God, and
amen.
It'll all be good.
Let's go.
Thanks, bro.
Appreciate you for coming.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. Peace out, y'all. And that is a wrap on this episode of The Social Room. I hope you found some great insights and maybe even some potential opportunities and ideas. Remember, the connections you make today could be the game changers of tomorrow. If you're interested in continuing the conversation or exploring potential partnerships, don't hesitate to reach out. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it. Stay tuned until next time.